Jim. Here's Steve, and he has graciously taken apart the top cover on your transmission and finding many faults, and I think it's time for him to tell you what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know how well you can see, but they had the top cover apart, and they clamped this in a vise and really brutalized it. There's also a big, huge notch and groove right here. And I got the eyeballing it when I took it apart, and it looked funny to me, so I put it in the lathe. They actually managed to bend it. And I wonder if the vise marks are on it because they clamped it in a vise trying to straighten it.
Or, yeah, who
There's
knows?
no telling, because there's under no circumstances would you ever have this in a vise, because there isn't any way you can get to this until it's apart, and once it's apart, there isn't anything to take apart.
Right.
Why would you put that in a vise?
Right. So now we're going over to the rest of the transmission.
On the top cover, these are the springs that go with the balls for the detents that fit in the notches for the shift forks. And on the Mercedes transmission, although there's a spot in the arm on the reverse shaft and in the reverse fork for a ball detent, it doesn't actually use one, but they installed one of the original springs. You can see these three springs. This one is not even remotely close to these, and it's also bent. They put one of the original springs on the reverse, which doesn't need one, and then this was on your first second. So I'm sure that was making things interesting.
So they forced that one to do the job it's not designed for.
They put this one in first and second. It was jammed. I had to knock it apart with a hammer because this was bound up inside the deal. So that's part of your rough shifting. And then the other thing I noticed is that I actually got a step on the shift fork here. You can see it if the light's just right.
Yeah.
And it also has an interesting wear pattern right in here, which I've never seen before, where it was riding on the synchro.
Yeah.
So we've definitely found issues in why it wasn't shifting correctly. And the bent shift thing, when I was taking it apart, was actually binding. If I pushed it all the way in, it would jam in the bushings, and I'd have to tap it and get it to come loose.
Yeah, that would make shifting difficult. Now, the cover, the front cover, it handles the throwout bearing.
I glass beaded it trying to clean it all up. So
well, I've got still pictures of this
where it was all blued from
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, this was physically heat blued from, I guess, all their fun with the throwout bearing. Plus, you can see all the marks on here where they had this clamped in a vise at some point.
Just evil.
Nobody knows why. And the inside of this is where the front seal goes, and the inside of this is no longer round. It's all damaged, and there's a couple of chunks missing in there. And then on your rear cover plate, looks like somebody put it together with the wrong hardware, and the drive shaft flange and bolts tried to self-machine the cover. And then on top of that, somebody actually did physically machine the rear cover and put in non-standard bolts.
See this notch right here? That's not supposed to be. There's supposed to be a nice smooth.
Yeah, we actually have a donor gearbox.
Yeah, these parts are not going back on your gearbox.
It's out being cleaned. Otherwise, I'd show you. We can do you a comparison and show you the difference in the covers, because your one that I took apart is in the dunk tank.
Can we see it on the?
Yeah, except it's on the bottom, so it's really hard to see.
See what it looks like on other people's. Well, anyway, all right. But the end result is it's not supposed to be.
It's not supposed to be like that, and so we're fixing all of that.
All right. So you're gonna get new.
Yeah, you can actually see the 90-degree notch right there.
Yeah.
If you get the light just right.
Yeah, it's very visible.
So we're gonna swap this. We're gonna swap this. We're gonna swap this top cover because
they got boogered.
Yeah, they managed to beat this up when they took the retaining plate in and out, And then this is actually got divots in it right here. You can see the lines. Well, if you run your finger across that, that's actually like somebody took a round file and carved in it.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
I don't know why that would be like that, but
yeah, because they give you a notch right here for helping to take this thing off the transmission.
Right.
And so there should be nothing going on at this point.
Right. So we've found different issues, and so we've got another transmission that we're getting good parts for you, and we're going to put you back together a gearbox that's going to be right and is going to work and shift like smooth glass.
What's the that seal at the top? This, I'm sorry, the input, the shift seal, that looks like that's pretty boogered up there.
Well, it's in crooked.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it also looks like it's so it's in.
Yeah, it's in crooked, and it wasn't going to seal because it doesn't seal. This is a lip seal that doesn't seal against bison marks.
Yeah, and you can see how this is. The inner seal is lopsided or something. When it's installed, it's boogered up somehow.
Yeah, the inner seal is lopsided because it's pressed in crooked and the shaft is bent. So
there you go.
It's just fun.
Yeah. Is there anything else?
So we've got just gearbox stuff spread everywhere, and we're gonna find all good parts and make it right.
All right. Thanks.